Alright guys, welcome back to Tech Tanks. Today's video we are actually going to be going into some pretty big detail, or at least more detail than before, on privilege escalation. We're also going to talk about parameter tampering and things like that. We're going to try to get into a little more detail than normal to just try to make sure you guys understand, as these are pretty big on the CEH exam. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. As always, well, as most of the time I should say, I will be using Hack the Box. So let's pull this up here. I'm still working on, I haven't had the time to get that lab set up to do the vulnerability scanning, so we'll work on that. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we're now connected to the Hack the Box server, and what we're going to go ahead and do here is make that a little bit bigger. Okay, so the one we're going to be doing, in case you are following along, is Friend Zone. I already went ahead and completed our Nmap scan here. So let's see if we can go over it real quick. Now I did do the Nmap scan a little bit differently than I normally do, because I realized I kept giving you guys just the same scan again and again and again, and you guys I need to make sure you guys, if you're using this to help prep for your CEH, you need to make sure you know the different flags and things like that for Nmap. So this time I did run a little differently. I actually first ran Nmap and then -p- like I normally do. And then I just put the IP address. So I didn't give it the A flag or anything like that because I wanted to find out what ports were open. All right, and that scan is faster than if we're doing script scanning and all that. So I was able to get these ports back. And so to get a better idea of what services are running, versions, so on and so forth, I went ahead and told Nmap to scan these ports specifically, sorry, and then I told it to run default scripting, like the default script scans, version scanning. Because we're doing Hack the Box, like I've said before, I'm not too worried about making noise on the target, so I just went ahead and told it to run a T4. And then of course I like the normal output, just regular old text output. And so I put that into the nmap.txt file, which is what we're currently reading. And then the IP address is actually 10.10.10.123, but oh, there's your 3 right there. Okay, cool. So that's the scan we ended up running. Again, all these ports are open, so what we do know is that we're running a FTP server, SSH, DNS, HTTP. Then we have our Samba ports, and then right here we have our HTTPS. So we got a lot running on this thing. So what's really nice is we're going to be doing a little bit of work with Dig and having some fun here. So the first thing I like to do if I have SMB, I want to know, you know, what access do I have to it? Which part of the default scanning is finding that out. So we do get, let's see, user authentication level with the guest account. So we can just go right in here. So that'll be the first step we take. But there's another thing that I want to do while we are doing that. And I also wanted to just kind of demonstrate running a specific script using Nmap. So let me make that one a little bit bigger. Okay. So let me get that going first. Now, if you want to see what scripts are available, say you scan a system and then you find specific ports are open, it's like, I wonder if Nmap has a script for it. The default location is under the user, share, Nmap, and then you have a script or scripts directory. So I know what I'm looking for, I just can't remember exactly what it's called. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that. For those of you who aren't overly familiar with Linux, grep is just a way to say, just search for this. So I'm telling you, just find the ones with SMB. So that's why it's all highlighted in red, where SMB shows up. And the one I'm looking for is right here. Okay, so I'm actually going to go ahead and just copy it, because why not? So we'll do an nmap, let's see, script, and then just run that. And then I like to always feed it the ports. That way I can just make sure that it's getting them. It's not going to try to, scan a bunch of different ports. It's just going for these ones. And hopefully you caught that I missed that part. Okay, and then just give it the IP address. So while that's running, it won't take long, but it'll take a moment. We'll go ahead and check and see what kind of shares we have on here. Or what kind of access we have, I should say. So remember, I like to use SMB map, because it'll tell you have read-only access to general, and then development we have read-write. And if you watch previous videos, this is always a gold mine. Okay, it's always going to work out in your favor anytime you can write something to the system. So let's go ahead and, perfect, this finished. So what this one does is it enumerates the shares, but what I really like about this one, because I can get, what's being shared from SMB map, or I can use SMB client. But what this one does is it tells me development, the path to it is etc development. The files is etc whole. Interesting. IPC is the temp directory. General is etc general. And then print is var lib samba printers. Okay, so that's going to be helpful later, so we're going to hold on to that. It's always a good idea to get an idea of where the directories are at. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and just start with general, because it's the first one there, so why not, right? Let's see, general, boom. And then for password, because guest accounts can access it, just press enter, skip that. And we have a creds.txt. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and get that, and then I realized I'm not in the friend zone directory, which is irritating for me. I like to keep things organized. So before I go into the next one, I'll change that. So that's the only thing on here, so we're going to go ahead and just exit back out. And then I'm going to, let's see, make directory, let's see, hack the box, friend zone, SMB, and then we're going to move the creds to hack the box, friend zone, SMB. Perfect. Alright, and then now we're going to just move on over there. There we go. Okay. That's just for my own sanity. Alright, and then before we start reading the creds, because that sounds good, we're going to go ahead and check out the development one. I figure, let's gather all the information we can, then we'll start going through it. There we go. No password again. And that was anticlimactic. Bummer. Okay, so we have nothing there. So let's check out what creds is. Creds for the admin thing. Okay, cool. So it looks like we got to find an admin thing. So we'll get to that. Alright, so we did go ahead and enumerate the SMB. Let's see, for nmap, we did have port 80, so we could always check that out. We have port 53, so definitely want to check that out. And an HTTPS. Okay. So I guess let's hop on the website, right? Alright, let's go ahead and get on that website here. Sorry guys, I have to pause the recording for a moment because my keyboard and mouse started wigging out. It was fun. Alright, anyway. So let's see. We're going to 10, 10, 10, 1, 2, 3. Have you ever been friend zoned? Sad. Okay. I guess I should have anticipated that one with the friend zone thing. All right. If yes, try to get out of this zone. Email us at friendzoneportal.red. Okay. So this, actually this whole thing right here, is a potential domain name. So we're definitely gonna take a look at that. Yeah, let's do that before we start doing any kind of directory brute forcing here. So we're gonna do dig axfr. This is to basically do a zone transfer, and yeah. So then we're going to do friend zone. Nope. Okay, I thought I copied it. Apparently not. Whoops. Friend zone portal dot red at 10.10.10.123. Okay. So we get friend zone portal dot red, which we anticipated, right? But then we got admin friendzone portal dot red, files friendzone portal dot red, and imports dot friendzone portal dot red. Okay, so we're going to want to add all of these in, and yeah. So, and we have two ways to try these, because we do have the HTTP plus we have the HTTPS. But one more thing that I wanted to show you, that I'm going to show you on a different screen, only because I don't want to lose what we have here. I want to get those added in. If we go back to the nmap, because I actually missed this the first time I went through it. That friendzone.red. So it actually gave us a SSL certification, common name friendzone .red. So looks like we may have a couple of domain names to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and run this again, but this time I'm going to do just friendzone.red on that exact same thing. And if you notice, we get administrator administrator1.friendzone.red, hr.friendzone.red, and uploads.friendzone.red. So we're going to want to put every single one of these in our Etsy host file. So pull this up here. Oops. There we go. Okay. So if you don't know what your Etsy host file is, it is the first place your system will go to resolve a domain name that it doesn't know. So if I could put anything I want here as far as for this IP address, and then it goes to this name. If it's not in the Etsy host file, then it progresses through the levels, checking your domain name server and just kind of going up the line. But this is always the first place, so this is definitely a good thing to know if you're looking to try to get somebody to go to a specific site or something like that, if you want to play a mean trick on your parents, whatever the case may be. So let's go ahead and add this in here, 10.10.10.123. And then we do have a lot to put in. So we're going to start with the friendzone portal. So we're going to do admin friendzone portal.red, files.friendzone portal.red, imports. And notice there's no commas in between these, just a space. Friendzone portal.red. Yeah. And then, of course, we do need to just have the good old-fashioned friendzone portal.red. And then we're going to go ahead and do the next group. Administrator. Yeah, we're good. One.friendzone.red. Then hr.friendzone.red. And uploads.friendzone.red. Okay. Hopefully I typed all those correctly. Yeah, I think we're good. All right, now there are total of 3 things. No, 4, 5. Okay, 5 things that catch my eye. That actually doesn't limit it down by a whole lot. Administrator and also admin. So administrator 1 and admin. Both of those catch my eye. Because I mean that's probably going to be a login screen of some kind, but definitely somewhere where we have access. But also, if you recall from our creds .text, where did it go? Oh, SMB creds. There we go. Creds for admin thing. So that combined, especially, I definitely want to go to the admin thing. But then also uploads, files, and imports. So that'd be this one here, and then, whoops, these 2 right here. Those also catch my eye because imports, uploads, files, there's a chance I might be able to upload something into it. Or it's accessing something as well, specifically for the files one. And potentially imports, but anyway. So those are the ones that catch my eye. First things first, we're definitely going to the admin one. Okay, and there's a few ways to do this, so we're going to want to, I don't want to leave anything, so we can do HTTP, and I actually want to show you something real quick. If I do, hopefully it won't do anything that I'm not expecting it to do. We'll do this first, okay? So I did the admin, and then I just put in the IP address, and I want to show you something here. So, we're having trouble contacting that site. Now, if I were to switch this now, so remember, we used the 10.10.10.123 before, so I just added the oh boy, subdomain to it, and all of a sudden it wasn't working. But the reason why I wanted to bring that up is if you're doing a hack the box or any other, practice your hacking type system, make sure you check both. Especially if you're not making any progress using the IP address, try giving it a domain name. Add it into your Etsy host file and see if that makes a difference. Because I've come across some boxes where when you type in the domain name, all of a sudden you get a completely different screen. So just keep that in mind. So anyway, all right. So we're still in the friend zone, which is depressing. Let's try adding HTTPS, because remember we do have port 443 open. Okay, so far so good. Actually, it really doesn't make a difference. So, all right, we have a login screen. So I don't know why I did that. I want to keep that there. So that has some potential. Actually, no, let's try it. All right, let's give it a shot. We know we have access to the admin thing. It's called admin, right? So let's see, admin. Oops. Don't save it. Admin page is not developed yet. Check for another one. Well, we do have another one, right? So I actually don't need this screen, I don't think. So we're going to do HTTPS administrator1 dot friendzone dot red. Okay, that's not right. Guarantee it. Did I mistype it before? I think I mistyped it before. Let's see, administrator1. Aha, frienday zone. Frienday. Not good. All right. No problem. Bada bing, bada boom. Uh-oh. Blah. Okay, let's try this again. HTTPS administrator1.friendzone.red. I may have to clear the cache. I think I'm gonna have to do that. All right. Let's do this. Let's close that. Go to my preferences. Privacy. So, like I said, it will go there if it doesn't already know it. Unfortunately, it resolved it before, and it's like, hey, totally buy this thing. And so I'm pretty sure that's why we're having a problem here. So let me see here. We're going to try it again. HTTPS administrator1.friendzone friendzone.red. Alright, there we go. We got something different now. Cool. Alright. Admin. Try that password again. Don't save. Login done. Visit dashboard.php. Okay. Copy. We're going to assume that's in lieu of the login.php. So, because we're making progress, I'm going to hurry up and throw in a Go Buster here. Just because I want to make sure we get started on whatever we might need coming up. So, oh man, friendzone.red, and we'll just let it stay at that. Yeah, and then because we're working with SSL and it's an invalid certificate and all that, just put in a -k if you're using GoBuster, and that tells it to not worry about validating the certificate, because frankly we don't care. And the only reason we don't care is because we know what we're doing here. Okay, don't do this on any other website situation. So we're going to just keep it with a simple one to start with. We'll just do common.text. dir common.text, sorry. Let's bump this up just a wee bit, and we're definitely working with PHP, so let's look for that, and maybe text files. Okay, while that's running, let's go to this dashboard.php. Maybe. I'm gonna laugh, I just DOS'd this thing. Okay. Page name timestamp. Well, let's grab this. So, smart photo script for friend zone. So, we're working with PHP, and it's telling me script. I'm going to just go ahead and try to add it in like this. And I got Nelsoned. We'll call it Nelson rolled. Alright. Let's see. So, we're dealing with a beginner PHP developer. Application is not yet tested. Something went wrong. Or wrong. The script include wrong param. Ow. Okay. Final access timestamp is 162.106.0.155. Okay. So clearly the image is right here, right? A JPEG, and page name is timestamp. That's the part that kind of gets me, is the page name, because now we're also getting a timestamp here. Let me see something here. Cat user share wordless derb common.text. I want to see if timestamp's in here. No. We're going to add it in here. Timestamp. User share. I have a feeling it's not going to let me do it, actually. I don't think it's going to let me. Permission denied. Yep. We'll find that. Nope, wrong one. Actually, you know what? Forget it. We'll just do it ourselves, right? There's two ways to test this. Let's see, HTTPS administrator 1.friendzone, yep, .red, and then let's just try timestamp. Not found. What about timestamp.php, right? Everything's PHP right now. Alright, so looks like that's where the page name part is coming in. It's accessing a different page. So one thing we could try, we're going to see if we can mess with it a little bit. Okay, so we're going to do, let's try login. trying to think if we should add the PHP or not, because it didn't do the time. No, we're going to leave it off. And the reason why I'm leaving it off is timestamp was on here, not timestamp.php, but the file was timestamp.php. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it off and see what happens. Wrong. Well, it didn't crash it, and we got a different response. So let's try this. What would happen if I just blah? Okay. So we can bounce around on the file here. And there's a couple things to try. The first thing we could do is see if we can throw in a completely different web page. For example, if I were to do, let's see. Okay, we're gonna just, oh man, I always forget to do this. Alright, so we're gonna try to host this here. One thing we could try to do is do 10, 10, 16, 199, 8,000. We'll just leave it at that. Okay, we're not getting any kind of reaction here. No 404, no 200, no nothing. And nothing shows up here. So we're not going to be able to do it that way. So we can access files in the same directory as this one. One thing we could try, if you remember, we had that write access to the development folder. Let's try that. Now we have a couple options here on what we can try to do. So first thing we're going to do is just try to keep it real simple. We're going to just go ahead and echo test. I don't know if this will work, but we'll give it a shot, right? We'll just call it test.php. Why not? I don't know. Now we'll just call it test. We'll just do that. Alright, then we're going to do SMB client. Let's go ahead and go back in there. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to go into development. And then we're going to put the test. Let's give it a shot. And if you recall from our enumeration script, this is located in the Etsy development. So what we're going to try to do here is just do Etsy, whoops, there we go, Etsy development test. Okay, nothing broke, but we also don't have anything, but I'm wondering if it just won't show it. Tell you what, let's try putting something PHP related in there. Let's do that. So let me exit out of here real quick, and I'm going to copy. I have a shell script here. Yeah, so I'll just call it shell.php. I'm probably going to have to edit this. I got this script from Pentest Monkey. If you're not familiar with him, you should be. He's got a lot of fantastic scripts available. Okay, just Google search Pentest Monkey. Okay, port 1234. Okay, and now we'll put shell.php. And in case this works, get our listener going. And PHP wasn't on there before, so we'll just put shell. Okay, cool. It worked. And here's the thing, is you could try a lot of different PHP scripts on here just to test it out. You could even add in your own file to be able to do command injections. So a lot of options here, but the good news is we got it to work, and that's what we cared about. So who am I running as? www-data. I don't know if you guys, if any of you watched other videos that I've done outside of the CEH. I think I have like 2 or 3 others. But we set up a I'm totally having a brain fart at the moment. A LAMP server. Okay, Linux, Apache, and MySQL server on a Ubuntu system. And I told you, you should make sure that your www-data account has no console access. This is the reason why, because mistakes like this happen. And let's see where we are at the moment. So we're in the root directory. I wonder if we're running any kind of Python here. Okay. Import putty dots. Oh boy, spawn. Okay, if you don't know what this is, I would write this script down. This is going to help provide you with a much better interface. It adds a TTY, so you can now try running like sudo, for example. I don't have a sudo password, so this is going to be a waste of time. But you're not able to do that. So if I were to exit out right now of this, yeah, so now it puts me back to my little $sign. If I were to try sudo L again, no TTY present. So if it's Python 2 that's being run, it's honestly the same thing, but instead you would put Python-C and then single quote, and then when you get to here, you would do your double quotes here, where I'm doing the single quote now, for Python 2. Okay, so other than that, exact same thing. Alright, so I want to go to the var www real quick. Wow. I want to see why this worked. Probably dashboard? Okay, this is where it's at. So first of all, it is adding the .php part. And it's just using a simple get. Now, here's the thing. If you don't provide any kind of sanitation, any kind of filtering, any kind of blocks or things like that on any programming, it doesn't. I'm not even talking about PHP scripting. We're talking Python. We're talking C#, C+. If you don't sanitize data, this sort of thing can happen. I was able to take advantage of a simple GET request from PHP to upload a different file, because all you're telling it is, well, just get whatever this is in PHP, and boom, you're Bob's your uncle, whatever. So sanitation is huge. Okay, absolutely huge. And that's what led to this lovely file inclusion that we were able to run, was lack of sanitation. Okay, now, where we're going to go from here, we have lots of different options. We can bring some scripts over, do some enumeration, like, what is it? You have, I love the lin piece and the win piece. Those are always good. We can go through all sorts of files, directories, things like that. But one thing I want to show you is processes. Check the processes. Yes, this is in CEH version 11. I believe it is also in the version 10. But there's a few ways you can do this. So you can just do ps-aux, and you can see what's running. But as you can see, that's just a lot. You can specify who by just doing grep root. And suddenly you see only the things that are run by root. So that's lovely. But there's other tools out there as well. One that I have that I'm a fan of using is I guess it's called like PSPy or something like that. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and go into here. Sure, why not? And then we're going to just start with LSL, and then I have a scripts. Okay, PSPy. Let's keep it small. I'm going to assume this is 64-bit system because it usually is. So this is going to be fun. 64S. I'm going to copy it to SMB. Perfect. And we'll just call it that. And then I'm going to hurry up and switch this because I'm not looking to list the directory out. I'm looking to copy. So let's just do that. And then if I were to go into here, LSL, perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to just open up that HTTP server. Okay. I'm pretty sure this will have wget or curl on it. It has wget. Alright. So we're going to go into the, well, actually, let's see. Do I have write privileges here? I don't. Okay. I didn't think I would. Temp is usually a good place where you can get some write privileges, which we do have. So we'll just do wget HTTP 10, 10, 16, 199, 8000, and then we'll look for this. Boom. Okay. So we have that now, and chmod plus x, run it. Okay, what this does is it checks the current running processes, but it keeps checking until you exit out. Now, unfortunately, usually you can press the Q and just quit out of this, but it doesn't work on this when you're running it in a shell like this sometimes. So you may actually have to give up your shell and then do it all over again. But the first thing we're going to do is check what processes are running. So far, I'm not seeing anything, you know, to get me excited here. So this may have been a waste of time. But let's find out. We'll give it a moment, see if anything comes up. You know, maybe take an opportunity to drink a cup of coffee, take a hit of your vape or whatever it is you're smoking, whatever the case may be. Okay. Still not seeing anything. Alright, we're going to let that go for a minute. And while that's going, oops. There we go. Ooh. Something just showed up here. Twice. User ID is 0, so it's being run by root. Okay. So we need to find what this is. Our opt server admin porter.py. I'm going to try the Q again. Just, yeah. Control Q? No. Alright, we'll just drop out of it. Do this. And we'll catch it again. I said we will catch it again. Or not. Try to do it this way. Let me see if somebody deleted our thing here, or maybe it's running on an auto delete or something. Development. Oh. Oh, guys, it's too late. I need to go to bed. Alright, here we go. Bam. Alright, let's go ahead and get our TTY back up. Import putty. Putty.spawn. Bin, oh boy. Bin bash. Oh boy. Alright, here we go. So, we're going to opt server admin. Let's see what this does. Cat reporter.py. Okay. So I need to edit the script later. From Sam, the Python developer. Okay. So it looks like we're making a call to import OS, the OS library. Setting an address, prints. Okay. So nothing too awesome here, but one thing to always check. So this kind of falls into a lot of privilege escalation options. So what I want to check is it's calling to import OS, which is going to be os.py. You want to find out what kind of access you have to that directory as a whole, where the os.py is stored. Maybe check the execution path. There's a lot of things that you could potentially check with this, but it's always worth looking into. Reason being is you have things such as DLL hijacking or something along those lines. And if you're not familiar with that, the basic idea is the way your computer will determine where to find a command is dependent upon your path. So to demonstrate what a path is, we'll just call this system's path. It will look here first. Then it looks here. 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 Okay. If it's not able to find it in those places, then it will also start in the directory that you're currently in. Okay. Depending on what it is you're calling in the overall setup. But it'll start looking for that file if it can. So if you have like a bash script, for example, sorry, let me rewind for a sec. It's not uncommon for a sysadmin that needs to run, mundane tasks repeatedly to set up a script for it. Now, depending on how they set up this script, it could really leave a lot of vulnerability on the system. Because if it's just automatically running as a cron job, it runs every hour, it runs every week, or whatever the case may be, it is simply running the script. Now, when you run that script, for example, if you were to run the bin command of cat, or what am I trying to think here? I mean, even ls, listing the contents of a directory, like a simple bin command. If you don't specify where that's supposed to come from, I can hijack that typically. And what I mean by that is if you just put, cat this file inside of a script and you wanted to cat it and, something along those lines, what I can do is change the execution path, or I can intercept it. So for example, using the example we have right here, say cat isn't in here. Okay, cat's way over here in the bin. Just as an example. It looks here first. So if I were to insert some kind of malicious code and call it cat and put it in that directory, it will call that one before it calls the one over here. And so, for example, if you set up to run a shell or to execute something, whatever the case may be, it will do that with whatever privileges are running the script. Okay, so we do know, based on what we saw previously, right here, that the root is running this. So I want to try to intercept something or something along those lines. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to look at the os.py. So I have an idea where it's going to be found, but we can also just search for it. Okay, os.py. And then using some more Linux magic here, I'm going to tell it to put the errors, which is the 2, into the dev null. Now, if you don't know what dev null is, think of it as a black hole for Linux. Whatever you put in there is just gone. Poof. Never to be seen again. Okay? So I just told it if there's an error, such as I don't have access to, or I don't have permission to access the directory, just get rid of it. I don't care about that. I just want the results, which we have 2 os.pys. Now, looking at this runs off of Python 2. Because typically this will say, if you're going to put the user bin Python, you're going to put Python 3. That's the #1 reason why I am pretty positive it's going to be Python 2. So what I want to do is there's a few things I want to do actually. So we're going to list everything, including the directory itself, to see what permissions I have. The Python 2.7. I wonder if I can grep it with os.py and still get the directory stuff. Nope, not getting the directory stuff, but looks like I may not need it. os.py, I can write to it. So who cares what I can do to the directory? I can do it to the file. So we have vim. Nope. We have nano. We do have nano. If I do nano, user lib python 2.7 os.py. Okay, well that's no fun. I can't use nano. Never mind. Okay, so let's go ahead and tell you what. I know what I want to run here. This could be easy. Ish. Easy-ish. I think I have a Python script. Pretty sure I do. Again, from Pentest Monkey. Yeah, the one-liner right there. So Python one-liner. We're going to just call it, I don't know, shell.py, I guess. Oh, man. I'm on such a roll with these also. Sorry, we got a copy. There we go. All right. So we should have it in here. And we're going to take a look at this because I will probably have to adjust it anyway. Yeah, so if we look at I'm going to go into that directory here. Okay, if we look at this, it's already got a lot of definitions and things like that. So the last thing I want to do is call Python in the middle of a Python script, right? So we're going to go ahead and delete. Delete, 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 delete. Okay, then we're going to go to the end, delete that. And nope, I don't need to adjust. Oh, I can't do 1, 2, 3, 4 though, because I already got that running. I mean, by all rights, I can close the shell, but I don't want to close this shell until I have another shell. So we'll just put it at 4444. All right, so this is what we want, okay? And then what we're going to go ahead and do is, just to make sure that there's no issues with transferring it over, we're going to go ahead and just do the wget again. So let's go to the cd temp. And then we're going to wget http 10.10.16.199 and what did I call this? Shell.py. I think we got it. Yeah. Okay. That was easy. And then let's just make sure that it transferred over. No problems. Perfect. Okay. So because we can write to the OS thing, basically this is what we're trying to do. When you import a library of any kind, what it's basically doing is it's just running another script for Python. And this script tells it, okay, this is how you do certain things, these certain function calls, so on and so forth. So what I'm trying to do is when it calls with the cron job to run reporter.py, I want it to import the OS like it normally does, but inside of that os.py, I'm trying to put in a shell here. That's what the end goal is. And the idea being when it runs the os.py, it will also run my shell. So, oops. First thing I want to do is inval vp4444, because if this works, I want to catch it, right? So we're going to cat the shell.py, and then, oops. Again, for you new to Linux users, the double symbol here tells it to just append it to the end of the file, because I don't want to delete the rest of the os.py. That would not be good for anybody. But I do want to add it in. So Python 2.7 os.py cat user lib Python 2.7 os.py. Perfect. It's in there. So we'll just give it a moment. Because it took a few minutes for it to run last time. So hopefully we will get this. But to kind of just reiterate this, because like I said, this is huge. This is an example-ish of DLL hijacking. Whatever the equivalency is for Mac, I can never remember what it's called. It's like DLV or something silly like that. That's what we're trying to do here. Is we're basically trying to hijack the call. But it's not quite DLL hijacking at the same time. But the idea is the same. I'm trying to manipulate what is being called. The difference being, in this case, I'm just adding to the call itself. But I explained the hijacking earlier when, using the bash script example and things like that. So the goal is to, if there's a generalized call, not a fully qualified name, then you might be able to intercept it or redirect where it's heading. And that's kind of the big goal with that kind of privilege escalation. Okay? So, may not be working apparently. I was hoping it would. I mean, this really seems the route to go with it. I don't know why it wouldn't work. Huh. What a darn shame. Maybe I need to escalate my privileges one more. Oop! Spoke too soon. Look at that. We got a script as, or we got a shell as root. Okay. Sweet. Okay. So there's a lot to do here. As far as for, what to do after you hack into a system. I mean, obviously a big thing is maintaining that access, right? So I think I always mix up the two commands. User add, like administrator privilege. Oh, no. I am the administrator. Add user? Huh. Let's see what happens when I do this. Permission denied? But I'm root. What is this permission denied garbage? Huh. Alright, well there's more than one way to do this. You're going to see the not so good way to do it. But just because I want to, again, there's always multiple ways to add someone into a system or things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and just go into here. I'm going to vim, and I'm going to just call it pass. So I wouldn't recommend this if you're doing like a pen test, but if you're just doing a hack the box, you want to just, hey, totally got this. This would be the way to do it. So let me go ahead and just exit out of this one. Boom. Okay. Open SSL password 5, right? I hope that's it. Yeah. Just keep it nice and simple. So what that does is it just hashes it for me. So that way I can put it over here. But I'm going to, now the one advantage to this method, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, is other than seeing me in the, seeing the cipher in the Etsy password, there's really, and of course, always logs and all that. I'm not going to have my own home directory. I'm going to just attach right onto the root user or the root account and doing it that way. So I'm going to just python 3 http.server. Oh my gosh, I forgot it again. Okay, I'm going to go into here. I'm going to go into the temp directory. wget http. Oh boy. Pass. Okay, and then cat pass and pass. And this time we actually want to replace the etc password file. Okay. So now what I want to try to do, SSH cipher at 10.10.10, 1, 2, 3, go. Yay. So we're now SSH into the system. Yep. Okay. So var logs. Then if I do cat syslog. Okay. See how ridiculous that is? Alright, now, if I were to want to get rid of that, then, oh man, I don't know. Because I don't have the tools set up yet for, but they're more for Windows, which is the big focus on CEH, so I don't want to, try something here. There you go. Just deleted your syslog, okay? But like I said in the previous video, this is a horrible idea because as a system administrator, you should be keeping an eye on your logs, whether you're using Splunk or something like that. That's kind of a big red flag when all of a sudden there's no syslog anymore, right? Like, that's horrible. And you can do that with any of the logs. Another thing to keep in mind though is the bash history. But this one, it just looks like it puts it right into dev null anyway, but yeah, so this one automatically does it, but that's another thing you're going to want to get rid of as well. And, clear out your bash history, make sure that you're not, saving any of that stuff. So that would be part of the, clearing the evidence of what you've done, is getting rid of the logs or, some way altering them, whatever the case may be. But naturally, we do have the root text, and then there is another user on here. I'm trying to remember who it is. Friend. Okay, that was easy. And then there's your user.txt. Okay. So, big thing here, guys, is poor sanitation practices allowed me to be able to change the directory that the PHP script was accessing, plus the poor configurations on the SMB server where I had write access to the development share. That combination allowed me to get my initial shell onto the account. And then the big issue was, again, poor configuration, or permissions rather, on the os.py. Because that whole thing was running as root, and I could write to that thing. I mean, I could, there's a lot of different ways that you could go about that. And that applies to, again, always give a fully qualified name when you're making a call to like a DLL or anything like that, or if you're making a call to a command, always give a fully qualified name. But then also you need to make sure that you give least privilege. That's the big focus, because the www-data user, and actually all users, had read, write, and execute status on the os.py. Very, very bad. Okay, so again, when it comes to CEH, remember these. Least privilege, necessary. That's the secure method. User input sanitation. Because one thing to also keep in mind is that your user input sanitation, it's a lot of people think that user input is only, like text boxes and things like that. That is not the case. User input is anything that the user or the user's browser puts in. So things like referrer, and I hate saying that word, so I have to like sputter through it. But like referrer, or the certain parameters that are put into the URL, or even things as simple as like a time check and things like that. These things are all things that can be altered by the user if they have the correct tools to do it. And if it can be altered, if you're not properly checking these things or sanitizing them, you're leaving yourself open to an attack. Okay, so sanitation, input sanitation. That's another focus. And then, like I said, I explained DLL hijacking, and just keep in mind there's a Mac version because DLL is for Windows, but I can't remember what the one for Mac is called. It's like DLV or DLS or something. Anyway, those are huge. Okay, so hopefully this helped kind of explain privilege escalation a little bit better. And then, of course, you saw the Nmap script as well, so that was helpful. I finally was able to show you that. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's a little bit longer than I anticipated, hitting that hour, but covered a lot of good information. If there's anything specific you'd like some help on, leave me a comment. I'd be happy to see what I can do for you guys. All right, have a good one, guys. Till the next video.